I promise you, on the weekend, yeah, just know if I don't see Sesko, I'm fuming, because I think the damage of what you do to not starting Sesko will be incredible. Because now it's saying he weren't my number one option. That's what it says to me anyway. And a striker coming in not being favored by the manager is scary, because we now are heading down Rasmus levels of you're heading down a Rasmus path, really, for me. And what I should be hearing from the manager, this is how, if I knew that the manager cared about this player. When we brought in, and I know he's not Van Persie, when we brought in Van Persie, Fergie taught world-class players play for him. I don't care how great you are. He's the man. Get the ball to him when you can. Understand his runs, understand his movement. We don't even play to this guy. It's scary. We're not trying to find him. I saw him trying to make this little run in behind and stuff. He's making runs, and we're not looking for him. And his head will just continue to drop. And once a player's head drops in his Man United shirt, I think it's very hard to lift that head again. Just on what we've seen in the past of loads of players that have come in here. So it's scary.
But maybe that's the positive tomorrow. If you've got Cunha and Mbeumo starting, they can create the chances for Sesko that maybe we're looking for. Because I do agree with you. It does already feel a bit Rasmus-ish in the sense of it's a bit of a thankless task. You know, we were talking about this yesterday, weren't we, Jameson? What does Ruben actually really want from his striker? Does he want him to be a runner, or does he want him to like hold it up? You know, like what's that gonna look like for him? And it feels like the only time that we cross the ball in the box is when Šeško's not on the pitch. When he's on the pitch, there's this aversion to actually do it. So I don't know. I know it's still early, but what do you think his role is?
I think this is where we get caught in between a couple of things. Is the job now to win games no matter what, or to pick the players we want to see to gain confidence? Because I think there's sometimes two separate jobs. You know what I mean? And I think this is we do get stuck in this a little bit, right? If we don't play Šeško for 5 games and we win all 5, did we make the wrong choice because he's lost a bit of confidence, or? You know, is it the right thing to play him, even if you think right now Cunha and Mount would perform better than him? Like, what is the right choice there? I think this is where we get stuck a little bit here on I
have to disagree with you, though. I have to disagree with you because he's understood what happened to Rasmus. I don't actually think Rasmus is a bad player. I feel confidence-wise, he lost it. I don't think he's a bad player. I think confidence-wise.
What do you really think, James?
I think he lost all confidence because he doesn't look like the first player that we saw in his first season. I thought there was something to build off there, and it just went to shit. Now, you can quickly do that to your new striker, especially knowing the pressure of Man United. The worst thing you can do, the one thing I can give Arteta respect for is Gyökeres. He just said, listen, this is going to work. I'm playing you. I don't care how unfit you are or how everything that's wrong, we're playing you into this game.
But he gets chances for him, doesn't he? That's the difference.
Gyökeres is also chances 27 years old, played in the Champions League. He had 50 goals last season. Yeah. You know, Šeško's a young player. I mean, when we debated in summer the Watkins versus Šeško thing, right now it looks like it's not looking good on either side of that argument at the moment. But like, kind of this is the debate about you get a player who's experienced, who knows the league, who does all, or who's at least played for many years, you know, has a record, all of that. You throw him in, they can play right away. Gyökeres is doing right now at Arsenal the exact same thing he did at Sporting. The same runs, the same movements, the same everything. Whether they're finding him or not, he's doing the same thing. I mean, his goals, he's just running. He never stops running. That's his whole game. Šeško's got to learn to do something different in coming to England. Not just because of the shift in the league, but because of Leipzig, they played in a 2-striker system last year. He was not the runner. Openda was the runner. And I was saying to Owen yesterday, this was a little bit of my concern in the adaptation period, is that I'm willing to be very, very patient with him because of this. He spent all last year being the guy playing with the striker running off of him, not being the guy running as the striker. It was a whole season of that for him. And so he's a young player. He's not really played the way that we want a striker to play. He's not even really played as a number 9 on his own practically his whole career. So he's got a lot more learning to do. There's a lot more of not just to England, but to actually play as a lone number 9 compared to having, a player running off of you like Openda. So I just think it's a little bit.
Wouldn't Mbeumo and Cunha be running off him though? That's the whole point. It
depends if that's what we want. You know what I mean? Because I've seen him when he plays. I feel like he's dropping in too much for me. Like I want him pushing the back line more, but he's dropping in and linking up play. And
he's doing the same thing.
And he's good at that, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he's doing the same thing that he's been. My thing is, right now we potentially have our top 3, these new recruits that we've all brought in, and they can all play at the same time. We have to try them. We just have to try. In this game tomorrow, at least let us have a look, and then we can say, oh, that didn't work. I know the damage of if your striker loses confidence, you probably won't get him back. And I don't want that for this, because that's another bomb squad player. Before you know it, we're going to be talking about him like Ugarte if we're not careful. People will make up their mind. What, we're 005 already right now? Is it 005? They're saying for him?
Sesko. I mean...
I think that's just on us, to be honest. I mean, players got to be able to have slow starts and still build up. It's not like we haven't seen it. I mean, Lenny Yoro took a long time to get going last season as a young player. He really only got going. Well, yeah, but even when he came in, he had some struggles early on. He had some bad games. He really got going in the second half of the season. I think De Ligt was pretty poor last season. He started off the season really strong. Definitely a lot better this season than last. Xerxes was getting booed off at Old Trafford against Newcastle. He turned it around the second half of this. Like, players have to be strong, man, because the fans don't make it easy no matter what. They really don't make it easy. And at some point, it can't, if you start slow, you just have to be able to tough it out and live with that as a player. You're not going to survive in this environment no matter what. And I do wish we do better at that. I try to give everybody a year.
Survived it, though.
Like none.
I've been shit. And
in the last...
It took Harry Maguire how many seasons to finally get respect from the fans? That's a few years.
Yeah.
A few seasons. Right?
There's a few. But I'm saying that maybe that's the nature of the game. I mean, maybe that's a big part of the reason why we do have so many failures, because the pressure is just higher than it is at other clubs. The demand is so immediate. People are jumping on your back immediately when you're not kicking off. I just wish as fans, we could do better at that. Like, we don't need to do that. I'm not saying that fans are the problem with players, but the pressure is a lot higher. Like, you look on Twitter and the things like that. A lot of these players, they're never even given a chance by some people. You know what I mean? And that's rough. I think the only answer is to be mentally tough, because you're going to go through it at some point, no matter what happens. I wish we'd give them all a year either way, personally, like as a fan, I wish we'd just give everybody who arrives a year. Just give them a year, no pressure as a player to do what you got to do. And then we can talk about them in their second season more.
I think it goes back to, doesn't it? It goes back to, like I said, winning. Because if you're winning and you're getting results, and then you've got this player that's just signed and he's taken a while to adapt, then you're willing to give him time. It's when it's the backdrop of like last season with Xerxes, you bring in someone in, but your team's losing, you're not scoring goals, then you start finding people to blame, don't you, immediately? And we do it with everyone. We do it with any young player comes in, does well, and then they drop off with that. Suddenly they're awful, they're terrible. It's kind of it's what
we would have crucified Florian Wirtz if he was in our team and he spent 100 million.
Oh yeah.
To be fair, he should be getting more scrutiny,
but he doesn't.
We would have crucified because he's in a winning team. He's in a winning scenario.
He's the most expensive transfer, and it doesn't matter. That he's absolutely crap.
Yeah, if you're winning games, it doesn't matter.
But he's not winning them games. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like he's in a winning team. Helping them with that.
He's in a winning team. That's all the difference it needs.